We're here. We're fresh. We're what the kids want. We're what the kids have. Caleb,
need it. They need
it's
it.
that time. It's that time of month again.
It's
we're
that
all
time.
the kids. We're all the kids and all the girls. They get together. They flock around. They take their little goblin feet and they get their little stockings and they're ready for some good Tolly information.
Yeah, is that right? Is that where we're at right now?
We're two big jolly boys.
So big jolly
bringing
boys.
forward our show for all the little boys and all little girls.
Is this Christmas
to come
themed?
here with their little ears?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah. So, hey guys, welcome to the first recording of it's Tolly time or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
It's a working show. It's a work in progress.
It's
really.
yeah, really. It's gonna be the sequel to My Time with Tolly.
It's Tolly time.
It's Tolly time. the Teen Titans Go equivalent of my time with
to
Tolly.
Tolly.
Oh god.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
But
But yes. Go on.
I interrupted
Raphael.
you. But Caleb,
Vegas.
what? Caleb Dickerson.
Yeah.
Cabalin, what have we been
Cabalin.
doing what have we been doing in my time with Tolly?
Well, the the month of December, as everyone knows, is kind of like just thought. That's not even the right word, but like with just full of holidays. It's like I'm sick of all this relaxation I've been doing, honestly.
I've been doing too much. I woke up this morning and I woke up in with a bunch of rabbits around me and a bunch of birds were singing and it was too relaxing. I said
get out of here.
I said get out of here.
Get
That's
out
what
of here,
I said.
rabbits and birds. Yeah, same thing happened to me. It's weird. That's I guess it's
Both
just
of
something
us.
something about the South. Yeah,
It's too many rabbits and birds down here.
as far as like what we've done this month, when did well, okay, so like we've done different art and different writing, but like most of the stuff we've done this month, did we start writing the script for episode 1 during this month, or was it during November?
No. We've been writing the script for episode 1 for a very long time. Since yeah. I mean, like, let's not hold the truth. It's fine. Caleb's like, how dare you expose me? Like, no. I mean, the thing is, yeah, we've been writing the script for a very long time. And, well, not very long. Maybe like 2 months, like prior to December.
And even then, like, what we started wasn't really... We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to go about the format of a script in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even say a lot of that time was actually script writing as much as it was, like, trying to figure out how our scripts would look, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
We probably should.
It was a lot of foundational work as well. Like we were trying to figure out the universe and stuff and where the show was going to start.
Yeah.
And like how it was going to start.
So, like, can we talk about, like, what... Not what the scene will be in the first episode. Can we talk about, like, what it was going to be? Or, like, do we want to...
Oh, yeah, we can talk about what it was going to be. So,
Okay.
Imagine, sit on my lap, Caleb. Sit on my gentle lap.
I'm feeling it.
My soft, subtle,
Your
supple lap.
subtle lap. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and me and Caleb, we were late. We were riding one night, and keep in mind we've been making the show for about 2 years now.
It's not quite that long yet, and a lot of it has been foundational work. But yes, go on.
We've been working on a lot of
Foundational.
like figuring out like who and what, like the skeleton of the story and the location of where it's going to be happening and how the book works. But so we started writing the episode, and one night I was on the phone with Caleb and I was really mad about the fact that we were like kind of had this writer's block of like not even started. We haven't even started writing, but we had writer's block. And so I was like, Caleb, let's just start writing. And we were at each other's necks. And the best line we could come up with to start the show was, did you think they have watermelons back in the Revolutionary War?
So, so like we didn't know. We knew exactly. We know what we want in the show. We know like the major like arch in a sense. We know like how we want the main character to react to a time traveling book. Like, you know, we know like all these foundational stuff. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty of like how you want a show to start. Like, the starting is very important, and we had no idea how to start it. So it started. It's still started in a grocery store, more or less. Not quite the first scene. The first scene has a little bit more action than that. But like there's still a grocery store involved. But the initial first scene was like they were shopping for Colin's hobby.
Colin is Tolly's dad.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, Tolly, the main character, his dad, is shopping for watermelons because he, at that time, and it may still be, I don't know, but, like, he was in a war reenactment and he needed food for rations, and he was asking if watermelon, the first line of the entire show is going to be, do you think they had watermelons back in the Revolutionary War? It's like, yeah. I don't know.
The problem with that is the fact is that it's like, you know, a cursed sentence in a subject now that we like now every time we bring up food in general.
We keep going back to food.
We keep going back to food, Caleb. And we'll be like, oh man, what they gotta talk about? Man, somebody could give out free samples, and there you go. And we're like, we always talk about
it's food again.
Now. And like
even I like how you joked about like it's like, well, we could do the free sample thing, but like, what if it's T-shirts instead of? It's like,
today in our writing session, that's what happened today, because we had a writing session today this morning, and it was just basically like I was like, yeah, somebody could talk to Tolly and he'd be like, free sample, sir. But instead of like, you know, like of like a piece of sausage and pretzel, it was actually
fresh pressed shirt.
It was a fresh pressed shirt. Like he has an apparatus ready for Tolly to
straight out of
in.
the steamer. Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just to get away from food, but we all knew what it was. You know, we all knew what we wanted.
We knew the charade that we were going for.
Yeah, and so the thing is, all of this month has been surrounded by a new sort of system that we have sort of put into place where beforehand we would just kind of have writing sessions each week, and we would have these long writing sessions where it would be like, oh, let's write for 3 hours. Yeah. And the problem is, that sounds all good and all. And I'm sure somebody would hear that and be like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem?
You couldn't get 3 hours work done?
Yeah, you couldn't get 3 hours work. It's exhausting.
We would do work on our own time as well as like work together, like, you know, you and me. But we would like have our writing session, and the main writing session would be once a week, and it would be for 3 hours. And you'd get to dread those 3 hours. Like, it's like, it's another Monday, you know, like time for like a 3 hour. And we did it from like 7 to 10. So it was like by the end of it, like you're just exhausted. It's like, cause you had like a full day of like college classes, and then all of a sudden like, you're writing for fighting against writer's block, you know?
Yeah, and the way that we decided to fight it was we still do those long hours, but it's so simple. Like hearing me say it sounds so hearing myself say it makes me feel like, man, I'm just one big dummy, aren't I? But like, it was the idea. Wait, Caleb, I got a peanut on my desk. I got to throw it in the trash. Wait, yeah, okay, there you go.
All right. Flick it up.
Sorry. But
you're like, hold on, wait, can we pause the timer? There's a peanut on my desk.
But it was the idea that we said we'll still do 3 hours, but we'll do like writing the first hour, and we'll do it just for an hour. Then we'll do another like managerial what was it gonna say, task that needs to be done in Tolly. And usually for the next hour we'll do something similar, because Tolly in general, what was I gonna say? Tolly in general has so many layers of work that we need to be that need to be worked on. It's the idea of like, there's writing, there's there's work for artists, there's work for writers, like individual work for writers, like outside of writing. There is managerial work, and then there's work for like morale in a sense.
Right.
And it's really hard, because since we are such a small like little production, it's a thing of, we have to, usually in a production there's like there's producers, there's co-producers, there's directors, there's executive producers, and all of them do like little branches of work, and that's how things stay sort of efficient. But we're doing everything. We're doing everything. So since there's so many branches of work, it's like, that's why we got burned out so quickly. So we would do this 3 hours of writing, then it would be like, we got to work on like an assignments, we have to work on like a better system. What was I gonna say? We have to work on contracts. We have to find more artists. Like, it's exhausting. So we came up with this system to try to keep energy up and to keep morale up, and it's been working so far. I mean, it's gonna fall apart when school comes, but you know, that's a problem for future.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I mean, it's worked. Like you said, it's worked so far. Like we have 2-hour writing sessions every morning, like for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I should say. And then Monday, we still have our nighttime writing session. But yeah, I mean, it's worked pretty well so far, I think. Like you said, when school comes around, we'll definitely have to change it, because I have classes every morning. I know that much. Like, I don't know my schedule exactly, but we'll figure it out.
I think earlier I said we had, that's what I meant, what you said. I think I said 3 hours. I meant 2. Anyway.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
But
anyway.
Yeah.
It's been good.
What were you gonna say? I was just saying, like, I was trying to think of, like, what, like, December didn't see as much work getting done as much as November did, just because of the holidays and such.
I mean,
but
sorry, we interrupted you.
No, please, go on. No,
it's always happens.
No, please. Yep. We interrupt each other enough when we're talking to each other, let alone to like someone else, you know, out there in YouTube land.
Oh my god,
right? You know, like this lovely person listening. Hello, hi.
Oh my god,
how are you?
They're blushing. Caleb, stop.
How long you been sitting there?
Calibrated gamer, stop.
Oh my gosh, you called me by my full name.
Yeah, call by his full name. He'll go. He'll disappear.
Cabalin.
But. No, you say that we haven't gotten like, I truly think that this month has really been it. Like, there was this kind of break of like, oh, there's Christmas. It's just been like this week. Like,
yeah, true. Very true.
Like
the week of the Christmas and New Year's and all that.
I mean, the most recent stuff that we've been working on as of like art and stuff has been like, we've been working on things like
we had an art style guide for one of our antagonists in the show.
Yeah, and
that was done.
That was really cool. I mean, because we do these art style guides. Like, the way we flesh out characters is very meticulous. Where it's the idea of where we start with the concept, and then we take something that we like, but there's still a lot of questions that we don't know about the character, and we don't know about how they work in our universe. So we take the character and we take them to expression sheets and figure out like how their face works in our universe. Then when we're done, if we don't like their outfit, we do some outfit changes. If we like their outfit, then we take them to what's called like an orthographic sheet, where we figure out how they look in a 3D space. And then we take them to something after that called a volume sheet, figure out how their body works in how their body exactly works, like how they look like when they're jumping, sitting, like crouching. And once we're done, we can just finalize that thing. And once all of that's done, we need to make it into a package that other artists can understand. And that's what the art style guide is.
Right. Exactly.
And we made that, and that took forever to make. And
because a lot of this you don't think about the fact that like we have a small team of artists and a small team of writers, as far as like it's really just me and Ralph right now at the current moment. But like the point is that like you don't even think about the fact that you can't just have these images of these characters. You have to be able to show other artists how to draw these characters. Like, it may take them some time and some practice, but you at least have to have these guidelines and these rules in place so that a character isn't like just all over the place.
Yeah.
Some shows work very well with there's like a certain terminology to it that I can't think of at the moment, where it's like they have very basic guidelines in place, but it's like you kind of just draw what you draw, and it causes it's very like full of expression, you know, in those. Steven Universe does it. So Gravity Falls is not an example of that. Usually Gravity Falls, like, all the characters look exactly the same. Yeah. Like, if you have Dipper in one episode, he's going to look exactly like Dipper in another episode. Okay. Steven Universe, or like, I don't know. Usually anime does this a lot.
Where are you going with this? You talking about anime in our podcast? First episode, we're already talking about anime?
You're attacking me, you weeboo. I'm just saying, like, it's you'll compare Steven in one episode, and you'll compare him in another, and he's like taller compared to like the stuff around him, or like his mouth stretches out wider in one episode than it had in previous episodes.
I know what you're talking about. It's the Looney Tunes effect. Yeah. It's the idea where cartoons are cartoons, where things are allowed to be nonsensical, and you're going to the idea of anime where they have side mouths, where they're like the idea of their mouth is on the side of their face, and it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Visually, it looks good, so you do it, but like it doesn't make sense with like, reality. Like
we had to figure out all that like a long time ago.
Oh my gosh. So much. Because at first we were kind of just like, an artist would draw something and we'd be like, that looks good, and we'd like put our stamp of approval on it and we'd move on. But then as we continued along and as we went back, we found that as certain characters, like the way a certain character looks and like talks and moves doesn't make any sense compared to how a different character would talk, act, and move. And then we had to set in line these guidelines of how the reality of a show works. And you don't even think about little things like that. But I mean anything from like how their noses like are angled when they're standing still, or like, if they look different in that regard when they're facing towards the screen compared to when they're facing like to their left or the right, like you don't think about all those little details, but they're very important for making a character look like a character no matter what angle he's facing.
Yeah, I mean, the little examples, if anyone wants to see it in our show, is the idea is, for instance, our characters' mouths don't leave the outline of their face, and our character, a simple one that a lot of people catch is how many fingers a character has. And our characters have 4 fingers. I remember that.
Oh my gosh, you just outed us.
Yeah, we outed us. So now they gotta look at them with like, what freaks? Look at them. But what was I gonna say?
Little rat hands.
Look at those hands, those freaks. But Another thing is that a very simple one in Tolly is sort of kind of like a Mickey Mouse effect where certain parts of his hair move and certain parts of his hair don't move. Certain parts of his hair are
Right.
always facing the camera, and it's very that you always have to. What was I gonna say? That's something that if an artist doesn't know, they may draw him, but they may draw his hair in a different way than another artist. And so that's sort of the rules that we have to sort of kind of like nail down, you know?
Yeah, and you have to make sure the artists know so that they don't like, because like we've had whole assignments where like we thought they looked good and then we noticed like one little thing that the artist continued to do throughout the assignment, and we had to like we didn't have to scrap the whole thing, luckily. Usually it's like you pay them extra money to fix it, but that's money that like we need to pay other artists for other assignments, so like we always make sure that if they're doing extra work that they get paid for it, but it's easier and more efficient to just like have them fix it before they do it compared to like afterwards.
Yeah, understanding of the artist so much of the struggle. I mean, other things that we've been doing this month when it comes to art is a lot of people don't realize this. They just think you just make a show, but you design.
Yeah.
You design a whole universe. Like
You really do.
You design a
It's
literal
crazy.
whole universe in the sense of like, hey, like for instance, if you just say, hey, this scene would be really cool to have. Like we have in the first episode, there's a supermarket. Okay, so you just saying that has created a bunch of assignments. Like it's created at least like 20 or like 10 assignments. And all of them are going to take months to finish. It's the idea of, okay, so what's we can start at the building. Like what is this, or if you want to have a scene in a building, what does that building look like? So you have to make the floor plan of that building. You have the concept for that building. And then once
you got a concept the people walking around, you got a concept like all these little like, what's in the building, what's around the building, like what do you see in the scene? Like there's so much to it.
There's a lot that you have to do. Even like very meticulous stuff too. Like for instance, like I said that we said earlier that we're concepting a supermarket, so we had to make a brand. We had to make a brand, and we had to do research for a brand.
It wasn't even like like because we could have easily just been like, all right, it's just a no-name store, but like we had to like we came up with the title of the grocery store. We came up with the logo for the store to go on the like employees like outfits. We are like concepting currently like how the employees look in their outfits, like how the outfits themselves look, like what the style of the store is, like if it follows like a certain aspect as far as like a location of like items in the store, like how a Target feels different from a Walmart kind of thing. Like it's very you don't think about that. You're just like you look at it at very face value of like, oh, they're in a store. You don't think about like how every little detail on the screen has to come from somewhere, has to come from someone.
And in the very beginning when we didn't really know much of a lot of our time working on the show has been, sadly, it's been a lot of understanding. It's been a lot of us trying to find understanding for a lot of stuff, because in the beginning it's kind of sucky, but in the beginning, like for instance, we used to just be like, oh yeah, the artists would handle everything, but they don't. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, a lot of our first year was just a lot of our first year was just talking about the just general concept of time travel and of the limits of the book and all that in general. But then the rest of the year was really experimenting with different artists, experimenting with different writers, just seeing like what works, and unfortunately we learned a lot from like what didn't work, you know. Like we had a lot more, I mean, we had some very successful moments with a lot of like wonderful talented artists and such, but like we learned more from our mistakes than we did from like, you know, getting it right on the first try, which is to be understood. You know, but.
Yeah, and we're very lucky that the artists that a lot of our artists have been here since the beginning, and they've learned with us. And they've learned with us, and it's been a process, and we're very, very lucky just to be in the situation that we're in, and it's been cool. It's been really, really cool, and this recent month we've had a lot of breakthroughs on the first episode, whereas the watermelon scene was like. That was like our pride and joy for like a hot second.
Oh my gosh.
But
I'm so glad. We're not going to tell you what the first scene of the episode is now, but I'm really excited to see how it turns out, because it is much more captivating than buying watermelons at a grocery store.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Like I'm excited. We really, really do like it. I mean, we could give maybe like a little tonally speaking. It's a little spook. It's a little thriller.
It's a little spooky, scary. Yeah, the first scene of the show is going to be thrilling as far as like you know, not necessarily like action based is not the right word, but it's gonna be spooky. It's gonna be it's gonna kind of get you on the edge of your seat, and then you're gonna end up back in the grocery store.
You're gonna get to the edge of your seat because the rest of your seat's too spooky. The edge is the only safe area of your seat, and
I'm done with this joke. I'm done with.
All right, Caleb.
Just so you know, the timer is at like 26 minutes.
I'm like,
or so.
yeah, no, like I see it, I feel it, you know?
Yeah, you're feeling it in your bones. Do we want to round this off to 30, or do we want to like wrap it up?
I mean, honestly, you know, we could it's already gonna be 30, but we could just stop it. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for donating. Like
thanks.
like for those. Yeah, I don't know if I will make this video public. I might, like, after like a month or two or whatever. I might do it just for the sake of like it being the first one.
Yeah.
But if you're hearing this and you haven't donated yet, go to the Patreon page and give us your money.
Give us your fat stacks, and we'll put it in our art, yeah. And
you know, every dollar you donate to the Patreon page goes directly to the artists and writers. You know, donating like higher amounts is always encouraged and always appreciated, but even given $1 a month, like if everyone did that, like it would add up tremendously. So just, you know, go give us money, like and comment and subscribe and all that.
Do it. Go.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
No.
Whoa.
No.
No. Not that. Not
Whoa.
this time.
Okay. I'm stopping this recording, Caleb. I'm out of here.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.